I mean, he could have moved his leg, so.
Oh, it was fine. It's just.
I'm just saying.
Ramirez just had a little.
That wasn't necessary.
Nothing wrong.
It didn't need to get to that extreme. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong.
Bills in a last-second field goal or a last-second touchdown by Aaron Rodgers to take the division.
He's kicking field goals too. I want to bet.
Right?
I want.
Are we live? I didn't play the intro. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great LTS show. I am your host, Bodkins. I didn't play the intro, so I don't know. Hold on. All right, we'll keep going. There it is in the background. It's all good. We'll keep going. Welcome to another LTS show, folks. Man, it is a wild day in sports. We got game 6 going on. What happened just previously in baseball? Phillies lose to the Diamondbacks, and in the ALCS, it's game 7. Plus, we got Monday Night Football. Man, it is. Here we go. We're ready. Let's go ahead. You know, we didn't get a talk last night about the game that was really going on as we wrapped it up. But I think it's time to spell the Dolphins. I think they are the big F word, folks. And I don't mean fuck. I mean frauds. The Dolphins are fraudulent. That's right. It seems to me when the lights are bright, the Dolphins don't come to play, folks. And to talk about it and to defend his team's honor, and we can bring the rest of the guys in here in just a second, but the one and only Mr. Yankee Finn, Johnny Cruz.
Is this on? Is this thing on? Okay. What's going on, Nicholas A. Smith? They are not frauds. I know that's the narrative going around right now that the Dolphins are only beating cupcake teams, but
that's all they've beaten, Johnny.
Okay, but if you watch this past week, a couple of those cupcakes beat some good teams.
I understand.
Like
any given
Scott
Sunday,
Patriots
any given Sunday, any team can win.
You know, again, we're not frauds, but again, we deserve the label of not having stepped up to beat a good team yet. We have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But, you know, we went up to Philly, played a really, good, the defending NFC champs. I thought we played fairly well against them. We made some mistakes. Somehow, the Philadelphia Eagles did not commit one penalty at all, while we committed 10. Even though there was some egregious ones there, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's one loss. We're 5-2. We're still in first place in our division. We still have an opportunity for the number 1 seed overall. Our next test, we got to defend home turf this week coming up against the Patriots, but then we have the Kansas City game in Germany in 2 weeks. That's going to be our next big test and another opportunity to show people that no, we are not frauds. We're a good team. We just got to get better.
You said something before air. You said you didn't care, if they got into the dance, you wouldn't care if this game means nothing.
Right,
but getting to the dance,
nobody's gonna look back and be like, oh well, they only beat cupcake teams or a bunch of sucky teams. If you're in the playoffs, you're in the damn playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think we're only going to get better as the season goes along. So if Kansas City beats the shit out of us, and then Baltimore beats the shit out of us, and then Buffalo again, then yeah, I'd be like, oh shit, then I'd be worried.
Okay,
but you know what I'm saying? We got our goals going up by Buffalo. I give it to Buffalo. We played better against Philly. Again, if we got Kansas City, we got Dallas, we got at Baltimore, and then we got that last game against Buffalo. So there's 4 more games here. If we go 0-4 in those games and wind up 11-6 with 6 losses coming to all good teams, then I'll be a little worried. But you know what I'm saying, as of right now, we're 5-2 in first place.
That's gonna be my question.
Yeah, if we don't beat a good team all year, then I'll be nervous because we're probably going to go into the playoffs and get our asses whooped in the playoffs. But I expect us to play better. We're going to get some key guys back over the next few weeks. So I expect us to play a lot better once we get further into the season, man. We're only going to get better. It's only week 7.
I know it's week 7, but I mean we're about halfway through the year. And you got to play who's on your schedule. So I'm not. But the 2 games, I said I was rooting for y'all last night. I said this should be a 2 MVP game. I expect, and now I'm off. I'm off the Dolphins bus. I'm off. You guys are frauds.
That's fine. That's fine. There'll be plenty of space for you to jump back on in a few weeks, bro.
And you guys are only in first place is because this man's team beat the Bills somehow. Again, any given Sunday, shit happens. But our own Hall of Famer, Scott Cobe.
How dare you look past the New England Patriots next week, Johnny? How dare you?
I did not. I said we got to handle our business at home. I am not looking past Bill Belichick and the Patriots. They're going to be motivated to play. I'm sure he's going to watch that tape of Buffalo and what Philly did to us, and he's going to try to come up with a sip. But he ain't got the players that Philly has. That's the difference there.
That's true.
And Mac Jones. He played okay yesterday, but he is no Jalen Hurts. So I expect a competitive game, but we should win that game by 10 points at least.
They don't have AJ Brown lined. The Patriots don't have AJ Brown lining up. Did the Dolphins ever think about guarding him last night, Johnny? Because I mean, Jesus, I said, please, AJ Brown, don't do anything. I'm going up against him in fantasy. And the Dolphins like, oh, yeah? Well, here, we'll just leave him wide open for like 11 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 150 yards.
That's because they knew that you were a fraud fan. They knew that you didn't mean it. So they wanted to.
I gave them opportunity to prove themselves, Johnny. I wanted to prove themselves.
Did you lose the fantasy? Did you lose the game? You want to lose
lost my fantasy, lost it all. Thanks to your fucking Dolphins.
Sorry about that, man.
I think they were afraid if they breathed on him, they would call a pass interference penalty against them. So,
bro, like
that
was ridiculous last night. But he's a stud, man. I mean, I don't know what stupid ass team would ever trade him away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's a hell of a player.
They got and we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that too. And they got richer today. A day after they beat the Dolphins, they trade pretty much 2 bottomless picks and Tremont Edmonds for one of the best safeties in the league. And he gets to join his old brother, AJ Brown, and Julio Jones in Philly, and Kevin Byard. And to help us talk about that is none other than Mr. First Down.
Oh, Nikki, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Not really. You're annoying as fuck. Anyway, how are you, sir?
as Sam comes in, Nick, I'll give you another fraud team. If the 49ers lose to the Vikings tonight.
Whoa. Another fraud team? So now you're jumping on it too, Scott?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I have the Dolphins.
It's all good, man.
I have a ticket. In all honesty. 4 months ago, before the season started, I bet the Dolphins to win the AFC East. I already bet them. I think they're winning the AFC East. I think they're the most talented team in the division.
They better because I took your lead and I did the same.
Yeah,
I did the same thing and I put something on them too.
Yep. So, but right now, I'll tell you, if the 49ers lose to the Vikings tonight, they're a fraud team. They're complete frauds.
No Trent Williams and no Debo. And that's it for them. I mean,
no.
I don't want to hear about players being out, man. No excuses.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Three-fifths of our line, our 2 top corners. And we're not allowed to
excuses are like buttholes. Everyone got one and they all stink, Johnny.
Right.
10,
by the way, Johnny,
a bunch of referees wearing Kelly Green T-shirts underneath their uniforms. You know what I'm saying? It was ugly last night, man.
It looks good. The Kelly
by the
Green.
way, I watched.
Yeah, those are nice, man. That's on my top 5, man.
So
I love those jerseys, man.
I watched a show last night on YouTube called the NFL Wrap-Up Show.
Oh, here we go.
You were on it. Rob Logan was on it, and some Cowboys fan was on it too. Alan Morales. Okay, so okay, and I love the new setup, and I love the promotion with Bully Ray. I'm a big Bully Ray fan. I love Bully Ray.
Yeah,
I didn't know
Rob Logan. Nice.
I got to get Rob on. I got to get some Bully Ray stories. But anyway, he said that when the Patriots were good, the league catered to them, basically called penalties for them, set them up, did whatever. So I did a little research today on this Alan Perales comment, who stuck his foot in his mouth again. Do you know that from 2016 to the day he retired, Tom Brady had the third fewest roughing the passer penalties called on him for other teams? Third fewest. The only guys that were behind him were Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, and Eli Manning. That's number one. Number two, defensive pass interference. From 2007, when they got Randy Moss, to 2019, they had a total of like 38 pass interference penalties called against them in all those years. Okay? And they had Randy Moss and Wes Welker. Alan, when a team gets a good players, deal with it. The Patriots had good players and a great coaching staff. Deal with it. Okay? The league did not cater to the New England Patriots and did not set them up for success. Okay?
I mean, you might have missed one important rule, and that was the tuck rule, Scott. That's the only one I will
one thing over the course
of
that
was pretty big. It was a pretty big one. That was a pretty big one. That
started the dynasty. Yes, I agree. But when somebody like Allen says that the league set the Patriots up to succeed all these years, they did not. They did not.
Well, Allen's a Cowboys fan, so he's just bitching and moaning because his team hasn't won anything in 30 years.
Allen, guess what? Since 1998 or 1999, the Dallas Cowboys have sucked
find
ass.
it, Chris. I promise somewhere.
They've had one playoff win since their Super Bowl run. So guess what?
Yeah.
Till you the Super Bowl, Allen, you shouldn't be talking about other franchises. Flow same way. Any Cowboys fan, same way. Stop talking about the Patriots and how the league set them up. It doesn't happen. And guess who the best team in the league is right now? It's the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, till somebody knocks them off, they're the best franchise in football right now. Deal with it, NFL. Deal with it, Cowboys. Ain't the best.
They are. They man the Swifties. Sam, I do want to talk to you about the big trade that.
Night, guys. See you later.
The big trade that went down today is your team continues to sell off pieces, and that first piece was Kevin Byard.
Yes, unfortunately, Kevin Byard, Middle Tennessee State University alum. He's from Philadelphia originally, so I imagine that probably played into it as well. But, if your GM is irresponsible and you get in cap trouble and you don't have any draft picks and you're handcuffed to paying contracts to Jadeveon Clowney to wear a different jersey, Julio Jones to wear a different jersey, this is what happens. So the league isn't going anywhere. I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he can get one with the Eagles. I'm curious about this defensive back, though. I don't know where he rates, but
Terrell Edmonds, wasn't he with the Bills? I feel like they just signed him.
No, that was his brother, the linebacker that went to the Bears.
Okay.
Bills to
right.
Bears. He was on the Steelers and then went to Philly, and he's the one that got burnt by Tyreek on that touchdown pass.
They said,
in the
get
corner.
him out.
So I'm sure, I'm sure the general manager was like, "Yeah, we need to replace that motherfucker right there."
Sam, let me.
They got a good player, man, for nothing, bro. That's a good player, man. Barrett is a good player.
Well,
bro.
hold on. Before that, there are some things here that they're keeping in mind. He's not on the right side of 30. He isn't. And I'm not dissing him because he just left. These are just facts the way it is. The guy that is the strong safety has played better than him the last 2 years. I'm not saying he's a bad player by any degree, but he certainly hasn't lived up to the massive contract we paid him. And as much as I would have loved to keep him, Beggars can't be choosers.
Are
You're
they-
in cap trouble. You got to do it.
Sam, are they doing him a favor too, trading him to the likes of the Eagles, a team
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
can win it all?
Yeah.
Hey, go catch your
Absolutely.
ring. You said it. Sam's on the backside. Probably the downside of his career.
Hey, he's
on
got
the
3
back
more, 4
nine
more
here.
years left.
Well, I mean, like Sam said, he grew up there or something like that. AJ Brown's on the team. That was his boy. So,
like the owner.
they
the
did him
owner-
a solid, bro. They did him a solid.
The owner released a whole statement about him. All right, and you don't do that just for anybody.
Right,
He meant a lot to us. He was there in the good times and the dark times, and of course I'll miss him. But this is what happens. This is football, and this is a business. At the end of the day, that's how it is.
So Sam, how I saw you tweet earlier today. How likely are they to trade Derrick Henry in your mind?
If they can get somebody to pay for him,
according to Diana Rossini, who probably lives somewhere at Baptist Sports Park down here, because she always gets the first Titan story, which is bizarre to me.
doesn't she live in this kid's basement? Ain't she in Vrabel's basement?
Yeah, she's somewhere. I thought she was in Sean McVay's basement. Oh, anyway, so
She goes back and forth. She goes back and forth.
Shots fired.
Put the lotion on its skin. Anyway.
Allegedly. Let's throw that out there before we get in any kind of trouble.
Allegedly. But no, it's she always gets the first story, and she said it's very unlikely that Derek would get traded. So I think they probably put him out there, and they weren't going to get a good whatever they were looking for him.
Yeah.
But it made sense to me just because Tajay Spears has been running really well behind a bad O-line.
I don't think the phone's ringing. I mean, the phone's just not ringing, I don't think, for Derrick Henry.
Probably not.
It's just like any other thing.
But now
I saw something about Jeffrey Simmons. Like, seriously?
No.
Isn't he like 26?
No, that tweet, like we just signed Jeffrey to $10 million a year. He's not going anywhere.
20, bro. It's close to the 20.
You're talking about Jeffrey Simmons?
Yes, the defensive tackle, the badass defensive tackle. He's making $20 million a year, bro.
Oh, yeah. $20 million a year. No, he is the bedrock of this defense. Some guy sent out a tweet like that, and it took fire, and there's no way he's going anywhere. So I mean, next up is probably Danico Autry, I would guess, and then after that, you probably are going to chip off something.
What about
that.
Treylon Burks? It seemed I saw somebody sent me a tweet today that Burks. I mean, he can't even see the field, so I don't know what team's going to trade for him. I mean, the Chiefs could be interested. He's still on a rookie contract, so he'd be. This is only his second year in the league. Sam, why trade Burks?
I think you trade Burks because either he's not working out, or Vrabel doesn't like him, or you're seriously just got your eye on next year.
But you can't even. I mean, the thing of it is Burks can't even get on the field. Like, I mean,
he can't stay healthy, right? He can't stay healthy.
He sure can.
You got any offensive linemen you can get rid of?
But according to Diana Rossini, that it was Byard and him that were getting the most calls. So that's all I know as far as that. But I probably almost guarantee that this is just the first domino to fall. There will be others. There'll be others.
I mean, we talked about it early in the season. They probably should have done this, you know.
Yeah, I was team burn it down during the offseason. Just go ahead and do it, you know.
Right.
And now you had to make us suffer and take hopium for 6 weeks just to do it now. So
I saw a tweet today, and I don't know where it came from, but they said this could be the most active NFL trade deadline that they can ever remember.
That doesn't surprise.
I don't know. I don't believe in that. I don't buy in that because it just seems like it's just like every other trade deadline. It's all smoke and mirrors, you know. It's like the NFL draft. The draft is like that. It's all fucking. It's everybody sitting in the car hot boxing, so it's just a bunch of smoke everywhere, and you can't see shit, and you can't fucking, you know, you're not even clear enough to see what's going on. So. I think it's all smoke.
Chris Greer has made a couple of trades in the last couple deadlines, and there's reports that he's looking because Isaiah Wynn apparently is just going to be multiple weeks out for us on the inside of that offensive line. So he's supposedly he's making some calls to see about possible nobody like big time, but just a serviceable offensive lineman or or a defensive tackle or something like that. We definitely need help in the trenches, but it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be interesting to see. I think it's a week from tomorrow is the deadline. Yeah, next Tuesday.
Yeah,
a Halloween day.
Yeah,
31st. Yeah,
Halloween.
Yeah.
Man.
Listen, Tanner's commented in the chat. He should just come in.
Yeah,
because he wants to drill the Packers.
We talked all the Packers on last night's show, so we don't need to talk about that shitty team right now.
I don't know why you people are bringing up old stuff. Why you guys keep bringing up old stuff?
Well, we got to talk about the Dolphins because we didn't get to talk about it last night. So we got to talk about the fraudulent Dolphins.
I was trying to defend you with the Packers. You see
Look at the drive.
How sensitive he is.
Okay, bye. Gotta go.
Yeah, see ya.
The 49ers are about to lose tonight. The 49ers might lose tonight to the Vikings.
What's the score? I'm watching the baseball game. It's 4-2 Texas. 4-2 to Texas.
Oh, look.
17 to 7.
Drive.
Yeah, he didn't hear. He just allowed Jordan Addison to get a 60-yard touchdown.
No way. Bro.
Yep.
Like, you're always
what are you doing?
ahead of me, bro.
What are you doing?
It should
be
known,
back.
One minor note here. With Kevin Byard gone, you save $16 million against next year's cap.
That's a huge thing.
The Titans' total cap next year is up to 99.7. That's second most in the league. So they're going to make moves next year. It's just a matter of getting there, I suppose.
They were much motivated to get rid of him at any cost. I think.
I think so.
Minnesota just scored a touchdown with 7 seconds left in the second quarter, bro.
Because the San Francisco defense
60-yard touchdown. It's 17-7 if they make this extra point. Wow.
Johnny, if you notice, the San Francisco defensive back was more interested in trying to rip the ball from him than trying to tackle.
A lot of guys do that. That's so annoying. 17-7.5.
17-7, though. That's nothing for the 40. We're talking about Kirk Cousins here, folks. He'll fuck it up.
I know. Well, I mean,
he's already
Kirk Cousins.
If the Packers aren't good, Nick is pissed. He just wants poop on everybody.
I want everybody to fuck.
Let it all burn. Let it all burn.
Misery loves company, y'all. So I'm here for it. You know what I mean?
Oh, if that's the case, cheers, motherfucker.
Misery loves company, and I'm a grumpy ass motherfucker too. So, because it does not make him good.
You mentioned some baseball there. The man who was just previously talked about a little bit earlier. Anyone else surprised the Diamondbacks forced to Game 7? No, I haven't watched a second of this playoff.
I was surprised.
The
Phillies at home. The Phillies at
home. Nick, it's Aaron Nola, who's been inconsistent as anybody all year long. He could throw up a one-hit shutout, and then he could give up 4 runs in 2 innings.
Yeah,
and sure enough,
I mean, you're right.
You're
right. I just thought Phillies at home. The Phillies had their opportunities in games 3 and 4. They had the lead in those games, and their bullpen blew it. Craig Kimbrell took them out, and they were booing his ass today because of that shit. But here they are. So let's get into. Let's bring our guest. We missed him last week. He was out and watching some hockey, the sport that he loves to cover. And now remember, he was at the NHL. He was boots on the ground at the NHL draft, and now he'll be boots on the ground at the NHL in Hall of Fame induction. It's Mr. Savant himself, the Swiss Army knife, Jim Biringer, baby.
The megastar, Jim Biringer.
What is going on? Yeah, fellas. What is up, boys?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
What is up, fellas?
What's going on, Jim?
Not much. Good to be back with my maniacs. My maniacs here on a Monday night. Sorry, I missed you guys last week. Hockey duty calls. So on a Monday night, duty calls for hockey. But yes, as you said, at the Hockey Hall of Fame induction ceremony coming up in a couple of weeks in Toronto. It's a great thrill and an honor to be there, boots on the ground there. But, hockey's underway tomorrow. Frozen Frenzy. All 32 teams play. Staggered starts on a Tuesday night. That's going to be fun, and I love it.
That's nice.
Hey, all I know is the best team
in the covering, Jim.
What? I'm sorry?
I was saying, who's going into the Hall of Fame that you're going to be there to cover? So
Lundqvist is going in. He's one of the local guys. Turgeon, Barrasso, Mike Vernon. So a bunch of the old timers. Lundqvist is more of a recent guy, but like guys that get their due, that finally get their due, like Turgeon, Barrasso, Vernon. I'm still 50-50 on whether or not Henrik Lundqvist the first ballot Hall of Famer, but I can have my opinion to that. When it comes to that, he's there. They did it. It's okay.
Listen, well, I messaged Jim. Congratulations, Jim. It's well deserved.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Next question.
Yeah.
How surprised are you the best NHL team resides in Boston right now?
Well, I think the best NHL team actually resides in Vegas, but the second best team resides in Boston.
Yeah, true. How surprised are you with the stat? I'm really surprised.
I'm actually, it's not because, I'm going to do a little cheap plug here because I had Jimmy Murphy on Boston Hockey Now on the Full Press NHL podcast in the summer. And that was one thing we were talking about. He's like, here's two things that can happen. They're going to come out really good and show everybody that how pissed they are from last year, how the way last year ended, or they could come out really flat. And you're seeing that this team is motivated by what happened in the first round last year. And I think I'm not surprised because as the summer picked up and training camp picked up, the word out of Boston is this team's ready to show people, like, we're going to be out here for a hot start. Like, we want to come out strong. We want to build. And with the division the way it is, I think the fact that Boston just went through California, got 6 points on this tough road trip. You're coming back east. Like, this is huge for them. And you bank points not only against good teams like LA, but you're beating the San Jose's and the Anaheims like you're supposed to, the Chicagos. Like, those are points you need now because those are going to help you later on. The one thing is I am very shocked about how Matthew Patra is playing. Like, I knew he was going to be a good player, but I am so surprised at how well he's just fit in. And welcome to the national kid in Anaheim. 2 goals. I mean, I knew they were trying to get him to Hattie at the end of the game yesterday. That was cool. But you know what? I don't think – I talked to a couple of people today. They tell me he's going to stay. They're not going to send him back after 9 games. I think they're just way too impressed with him, and he's the second-line center right now.
Is he? Do you think he's like a 30-goal scorer or a 40-goal scorer, or do you think he's?
I could see. I mean, I think he probably could be like 20, 25-goal scorer, but I think what they're hoping is he becomes the next Patrice Bergeron in the faceoff dot, which I think that's his ability. Like that's what they're really hoping for. Like is that he can make his presence known in the faceoff dot. Like Bergeron all around could score, could pass, was really good at the dot, but that's what he like. No, like everybody's like, oh, what's Patrice Bergeron known for? Well, winning faceoffs, but he could score. Like that first thing you think of Patrice Bergeron is, he's won the Selke, he's done all the faceoffs. If you can get that out of Patra, I mean, look out. I mean, this team's going to be dangerous.
Absolutely.
Are you surprised at all by some of the slow starts? Edmonton, Toronto, Seattle, and how big is that injury to Bobrovsky? I believe.
Yeah, so a couple of major injuries. So you have Burkowski in Seattle. The Seattle's just he's just man, that team just can't score goals. One night they can put 4 up, the next night they can't. They have problems scoring goals because last year, if you looked at them, only a couple 20-goal scorers. They had guys in the teens. They're taking a little bit of a step back. That division's very tough, but still, there's a lot of time to make ground. But Bobrovsky, in Florida, Bobrovsky, he's doing well in Florida. He seems to always beat the Leafs. Doesn't matter who it is. Then you got Vasilevsky down in Tampa. He's out. Tampa's defense just not playing well in front of their goaltender. Doesn't matter who it is. Again, look, to make a 1990s reference, oops, I did it again. Yeah, Toronto, 4 straight games in Tampa, 4 straight comebacks, 4 straight wins in overtime. Ridiculous how they did it. Matthew Knies, 2 goals. But then you have Connor McDavid in Edmonton got out. He's out potentially 1 to 2 weeks, pulled muscle near the rib cage. That's going to be huge. They're hoping he comes back for Sunday in the outdoor game. If I'm McDavid, I don't even sniff playing in an outdoor game because you only could get hurt more. So don't even bother. Just rest up. And hopefully this gives Edmonton time to work on fundamentals defensively because they are awful defensively. Their goaltending stinks. They can't protect the goaltender. Defensively, they can't do anything. And you got to be able to score 5-on-5 in this league. You just can't rely on your power play. Look, New Jersey and Detroit, two great teams, but they can score 5-on-5. Their power plays are the two best right now. But if you can't score 5-on-5 in this league, it doesn't matter what you do on the power play.
Jim, two quick questions. First of all, what the fuck is a Bruin? And
it's a bear. It's a bear.
Am I right? Am
I right?
Am I right? It's a bear. Bears,
it's bear.
It should just be called the Boston Bears.
No, they're the Bruins.
No,
Bruins.
No, Bruins.
They're Bruins. They're Bruins.
Boston don't even have fucking Bears.
We're goddamn 5-0, Nick. We're 5-0, Nick.
How's my guy? What?
We're 5-0. The Packers.
I was going to ask my guy Connor.
The Packers can't even sniff 5-0.
You know, Bedard is Bedard's playing
how's my
well.
guy Connor Bedard doing so far?
Yeah.
Is he as advertised?
Oh, he's definitely as advertised. The problem is he's just doing too much media. Like, that's the issue with me. Like, I even said it. It's the talk around the league. This guy's just doing way too much. It's overwhelmed, the situation. I mean, the goal he scored the other night, though, even though it was in a loss, you're going to see more and more of that goal in the slot on a power play. Like, he's ridiculous. The speed, the chances, the shot chances. Like, you have good veterans there that's going to help, Bedard learn the ropes, but he's doing way too much media availability during games, before games. He probably should have talked in Toronto after the game. He didn't. That kind of left some people wondering what Chicago was doing. But the kid's as advertised. My thing is what they're doing in Anaheim with Leo Carlsson. Like, this guy's on a game count because financially they don't want, speaking with some people today, they don't want to go past the 41 game mark because it gets him to free agency a year earlier. Okay, so if you were really concerned about this
situation,
right? But here's the problem with me. If you were really concerned about that, maybe you should have let him go develop over in Europe then. Right. If you didn't think he was if you didn't want to do this, like, go send him to Europe, go develop. Because here's the problem: Bedard, Fantilli, Cooley, all these guys are going to be doing things, right? And Carlson's going to be here and there, and he's going to get lost in the shuffle because, he's on a game count. He ain't playing. And the problem is there's so much pressure on Pat Verbeek because of this pick, because everybody thought Adam Fantilli was going second, and he didn't. And now he's in Columbus, and he's playing well. He got his first NHL goal. Carlson got his first NHL goal. So all the top three guys got their first NHL goals. But the other two guys are going to be talked about, and he's not because, well, he missed the start of the season because of an injury, played one game, didn't play a back-to-back. It's like, okay, so what are we doing here? But it's Anaheim, it's California, it's weird. There's weird stuff going on over there anyway, so I chalk it up to that. Except out in LA, though. LA, they seem to get it right with their players. They go either you're making a team or you're going to develop somewhere. So I don't know, Anaheim. But as far, go back to what Johnny, you were asking me a slow starts. Look, Detroit's off to a hot start. They're playing well. Buffalo, not off to a good start. There was hope for them, but again, relying on young goaltenders, their defense may not be as great. You could play as much offense as you want. But here's one thing: when I was talking with somebody about why Detroit's so doing so well, it's because they're playing defense too. Yeah, they may not be the sexiest names out there, but they're playing what they're playing good defense, which is leading to great offense, great transition. Yeah, you can kind of beat them on the rush, but once you get them settled, they're playing good defense. Ville Husso's playing well. So guess what? That's why Detroit's off to a hot start. It helps to have Alex DeBrincat and your power play the way it's connecting. But hey, that's what happens. And Ottawa's off to a good start. They had a test against Detroit. Detroit won. Again, I don't agree with the Riley Grigg penalty. Thought that was a little soft for the NHL. It was a nice body check, and then they called roughing, and that changed the game. But oh well, you got to fight through that stuff. But you look at it, right? Vegas is off to a hot start. Colorado, Boston. It's pretty good. The league is everybody's off to a great start. Flyers out of nowhere, they're playing well. Like I said, Columbus is a little bit better than they started. Toronto always gets off to a slow start. But that win against Tampa, that could change your season. You come back from 2 goals third period, win in overtime. Let's see. Carolina's got some goaltending issues. So you could go down the list of teams that are having – and let's just face what it is. The Washington Capitals are just an old team. Let's face facts. That team is just old, and it's all about Ovechkin scoring goals.
Is Tampa going to suck this year, bro?
They might not make the playoffs. I'm going to be honest. Like, I just don't think they might.
Should they sell off a couple pieces and try to go younger?
That's what they should do.
But they won't.
They probably won't do it because if the cap goes up next year, their window extends a little bit for another year or two because you can sign those third, fourth line players. Yeah. Vasilevsky's going to be healthy. But the issue is if you watch any Tampa Bay Lightning game or you follow me, I talk about one thing. They don't clog up the middle enough. Too many passes, too many guys watching, not enough getting sticks in the lane. And you saw it against Buffalo last week. I mean, 4 guys watch Owen Power pass the puck to Jeff Skinner on backdoor. Nobody put a stick in the lane. Like, I can't do that. You got to take away the middle of the ice. And it was funny because John Cooper was talking about that prior to the game on ESPN. So, look, just little things that here and there. Arizona is a fun team to watch. I love watching Arizona. You know, they got so much young talent. I don't know if it's going to continue, but they're making things interesting out there. And, you know, Vancouver's Vancouver. Again, it's still early, but it's not going to get early. We can't say it's early anymore when it's going to be November and teams aren't playing well.
Yeah. Has John Cooper's time ran out in Tampa Bay, do you think, Jim? Or do you think it's...
No, I don't think so. I just think, you know, it's there. Look at all the players they've lost, right? You think about it, the Palats, the Tyler Johnsons. You think about that third line of Gord, Coleman, Goudreau. You think on the back end, you had McDonough goes to, you know, McDonough was such a huge part of that defense. He could take a lot of guys away from the middle of the ice. Yeah. So they've just lost a lot of players because of the salary cap, and that's what they end up being. They're just an average team right now. And that stuff gets exposed even more when you have below average goaltending. Andre Vasilevsky's not there to back it up anymore. And even when he was in the net, he can't do everything. Like, defensively, they're just not a sound hockey team.
Nah, they love him down here, Scott. They love him down here, bro.
Jim,
Coop's not going anywhere. Like Sullivan in Pittsburgh, unless the Penguins have like a really bad season, they don't make the playoffs again this year, which could potentially happen because, you know, again, did you really need Carlson? You had Letang. Like, where are you going to go from here? But if they miss the playoffs again, maybe Mike Sullivan gets moved. You know, the Rangers are doing things the right way there. New Jersey will turn it around. But again, like I said, the points you bank now help you later on in the season. Right. So we're going to see what happens.
Hey, Jim, I want to shift gears to a little college football talk. USC dead, huh?
Oh, God, they're awful. Oh, my God, they're awful. That defense is awful. So real quick, I don't know if people watched the game Saturday, but if you didn't,
I won.
All right, so I want to get your opinion on this one. So I was watching the game, fourth quarter, right? The final drive for USC, right? They scored like that, right? So I rewound it after the announcers were saying, "Oh, well, the defensive play is kind of off." I rewound it. Utah let them score to get as much time on the clock. They completely let them score. Because if you look at the defensive lineup, they didn't even try to stop Caleb. They didn't even clog that hole, and they just let him walk right in. What a smart move by the Utah Utes.
The deal with USC is this. Their defense is so awful, teams know they can go right down the field as quick as they want to and score touchdowns against them. That's the whole thing. So this 34-32 final is what's happening with that.
It makes you want to give Caleb Williams a piece of your team, right? When he gets drafted, gives you a team.
God.
That's so stupid.
That's a good point, Sam. Where's all this information about Caleb Williams? He's only going to go to select teams if they're at the top of the draft, and then he wants part ownership. I never hear this come from this kid. But where is this information coming from? Because it's not coming directly from him. It doesn't sound like. But you always hear, in something.
Could be
probably
agents.
agents. Could be a father. Could be some guy he knows. Who knows?
Somebody in his posse. Who knows?
Yeah, so who knows? But here's the thing with USC, right?
Still laughed when I saw it.
Look, USC's defense has been awful all year. That's why they kept falling down in rankings. They could have stopped Utah on a fourth down, but give it up for Bryson Barnes on that run. Sets him up in field goal range. Dude, that kid has played great. No Cam Rising the rest of the year for Utah, but they're getting healthier. They got a big game with Oregon this weekend. That's going to be huge in Utah. So, I mean, that's a big swing game in the Pac-12. But USC
Who
just
you liking that game, Jim? Because that's the marquee game of the weekend. That's about the only two teams that are ranked going at it this weekend.
I would take
Utah. Home,
I like Utah at home. I just like Oregon is a good team, but Dan Lanning has to stop being aggressive. And here, look, I don't like to come on here and rant all the time and try to preach about things. But these college coaches and the analytics in college football about going forward on fourth down in the red zone inside the 5, take the effing points. Seriously. No, it cost UNC the game. It cost USC the game. It cost Oregon against Washington. You take the points. I don't care what the analytics tell me. If your defense is that good to stop somebody and get you the ball back at the end of the game, take the points. That's all you needed to do was take the points, and you would have won games. But you see it all across college football, all sports, just analytics. It's like, let's go for it on fourth down. Why? You're inside the 5. Take the easy field goal. It's 3 points, especially on the road. But look, Utah's got a good team. They're getting better. They're hungry. But USC's defense is just awful. They probably should have lost to Colorado. They hung on. They got smacked around by Notre Dame. Like, you knew this was going to happen when conference play started. They're just – when you're giving up 28 points you gave up 41 points to Arizona, probably should have lost that game. You have 41 points to Colorado. You should have lost – you're giving up 28 points to Arizona State and San Jose State. Like, I know Lincoln Riley is all about offense, but at some point you got to play defense. Like, you really do.
Well, that's how you win games. You got to be able to win games for playing some defense. You
have to. I mean, you look at the teams that are doing that. The Florida States, they figure it out. They rely on their defense. Georgia is always relying on their Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, both teams play defensively really well. UNC's defense had turned it around until they lost to Virginia. So, I mean, Oklahoma and Texas defenses are playing really well. Oregon's got a great D. Washington's got even Alabama's defense is the reason where they are right now. You eventually got to stop somebody.
Right.
Yeah, you're putting way too much pressure on Caleb Williams. And when you're recruiting all the toys on offense, and you say, okay, our defense will give up 40, but all these toys and all these 5-star recruits will score us 45 points. It doesn't always happen. And
you can't outscore your problems. You can't outscore your problems.
That's right. That's right.
Jim,
did you see how my Hawkeyes lost on Saturday? It's bad enough we can't fucking score, but then we got cheated by the fucking refs. I mean, Jesus.
Hey, no excuses, man. No blaming the refs, bro.
I was kind of mad. I was kind of mad about that. You know why? Because I had Iowa in my picks, and I was like, "What the hell? How'd they lose to Minnesota?" I still don't know how Wisconsin lost to Illinois.
Jeez.
I mean, just some bullshit. It's bad enough we got an offense that's stuck in the 30s and can't score, and then we skip a punt return for a touchdown, and they say the kid fair caught it, and he never fought fair fired. It is some bullshit.
Coach will be fired.
Well, no. Kurt Fair thinking his son has to get fired. Who's the OC? And that's in his contract.
The OC, because you can't, because they're not averaging 25 points a game, which you knew was never going to happen.
Yeah. No, because they're like, hey, what's the playbook? Oh, it's run left, run right, play action, slant. That's it. That's the playbook.
Yeah, and then you go. So go back, right? I was talking about teams going for it. ASU, Arizona State has Washington on the ropes. Like Penix Jr., Washington playing the worst game of the year. They had a chance to take points, and they didn't. And then later in the game, they get picked off. Game over. Like it's like, dude. take the points. Like, I don't understand what these teams are doing. Like, it just makes no sense to me.
We say it every Sunday. It
happens in the freaking NFL.
All these coaches got to be the smartest people in the room. That's what they want to be. They want to be the smartest person in the room.
But sometimes being the smartest person in the room, do the smart thing. Go with your gut. Yeah. Do what everybody's been doing for 100 years playing this game. You take points. Like, you take points. Unless it's like the playbook, you throw the gut out of you throw that out of the window when it's overtime or it's the last play of the game, and you're down by 1, and you score to make it down by 1. You can kick the field goal, go to overtime, or you try to go for the win. I don't have a problem with at that point going for 2 and try to go for the win. Like, I have no issue with that.
It's just when you're in the third quarter, and it's 4th and goal, like Jim said, on the 5-yard line. Take the field goal. Kick the field goal. When you're in the middle of the third quarter, the play doesn't just take the 3 points, tie the game up, go ahead, whatever you want to do. Instead, these coaches will say, "I've got this play. I'm the smartest guy. Watch this play." When it doesn't work, they say, "Oh, it was on the play." No, as Jim said, take the points. Always take the points.
Always.
Just said
analytics is creeping into all the sports, man.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really bad right now.
It messed up baseball. Now it's trying to creep its way into all the other sports as well, man.
Stupid.
Jim, I want to ask you some wrestling stuff here before we get you out of here. Last Wednesday, Sting has announced that he will retire at the next AEW pay-per-view. Is that Revolution or?
That's correct. Yeah, Revolution. Yeah.
2024. He said.
Next year. The 2024 Revolution will be who do you think should be retire Sting?
Probably Darby. I think that would be the match. I'd like to see that.
That's what I said. But I mean, how do you? If I'm giving you the pin. Because Darby's a face, obviously Sting's a face. Does Darby just come out and say, "I want it to be me," and we're okay with that, or how do they start that program?
Or Sting's like, "Well, there's only one guy that should retire me, and I think it's the guy that I've been working with for like the last couple of years, Darby or something." Like, go down that route. I mean, I don't know who else you could bring in. There's really nobody around that could do it. I think it just makes sense that you just pass the torch to the next guy, which is Darby. It just makes the most sense to me. I mean, Stinger, man, what a career, right? Late 80s, breaks in through the 90s. He changes his look thanks to Scott Hall. Goes to this Sting Crow. Then he retired. Well, he didn't retire, but he wasn't wrestling for a little bit when WCW went out of business, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna go to WWF." We're finally going to get Undertaker and all that, but it never happened because the Stinger was smart because he knew they were going to ruin his character. So he goes to TNA, which is awesome. He had a great run there during like the heyday from 2004 to like 2009. It was great TNA. Then he goes to WWE, his BS run because they just completely made him a jobber. So because they just wanted to stick WCW some more because there was what reason for him losing to Triple H at WrestleMania made any sense. So he left a bad taste in his mouth. He gets hurt. He comes back, goes to AEW, does crazy crap, jumping off stages, jumping off everything, putting his body through everything. The Stinger and Darby, why not, right? I think Darby gives him a safe match. I don't think anybody else can really do it. Maybe Edge, somebody who's been around the business, unless it's a tag match, and then he just goes out on top because that's what he's really been doing.
Yeah, this is really only one guy.
Yeah, he hasn't had a solo match in AEW.
Right. There's only one guy that can really retire him, but he's really too old, and that'd be Ric Flair.
Right. And nobody wants to see Ric Flair wrestle anymore. So
no. So it can't be Flair.
No.
So
dear God, no.
It's got to be a tag. It has to be a tag because him and Darby. He even said no Darby, but that's a precursor of it's going to be Darby. But
right.
If that's the case and they go tag route, it's got to be like Moxley and maybe Danielson against.
Yeah,
Darby.
I mean That would be that's the way to do it. Something like that. You go that way.
To put the next man over. In wrestling, we know that you got to put the next guy over. So you always lose your last match to put the next guy over. So who not to give the rub more than Darby? Not that he really needs the rub, but you know what I mean? Just to put him over. Or maybe it's some sort of heel, and then they get to say that they retired Sting. Sting,
or Tony Khan's just gonna.
I don't know.
That's the way it's supposed to go. Tony Khan's world. Maybe Sting wins his last match.
Yeah. And gets the ride off into the sunset.
Right, exactly.
So Tony Khan's been known to do some harebrained things here.
Right, exactly.
Lately.
So
What?
No, really? No, you think?
No.
I mean, who out there, if it's not anybody in AEW, Jim, who out there could they possibly bring in to do it?
They can't because Muta retired, so Sting and Darby were over in Japan for Great Muta's retirement match, so it can't be him. Well, I mean, it could bring anybody they want. I mean, Okada's going to be on the show this week with Orange Cassidy, so I mean, you could bring somebody from Japan. I just don't know who it's going to be, unless you do like Sting and Darby against like Will Ospreay and somebody.
Yeah, he could do that. And Guevara or something.
Yeah, like, and then those guys go over, and then those guys go over. Like, that kind of makes sense, right? You put the Don Callis family over, and they retired Sting.
Yep. What about this one?
Huge.
What about this one? Sting against Jericho.
Like, I mean, it's a great match. I just don't know if Sting can go over 10 minutes for Jericho.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. So be interesting to see who they pull out of
unless you do like here's another. I mean, it's not like MJF needs to be put over even more, but you could kind of put MJF in that spot too.
Yeah,
I was thinking that was the person. I wanted to say him, but it just he's also kind of on this face run right now, so it's weird to.
You never know. MJF. You never know with him.
But I don't think it's Sting's last match. It's going to matter whether it's a face or a heel. To be honest,
no, it's not going to matter. No, because it's going to be Sting's last match. So
yeah. So Tony Khan might say to Sting, "Who do you want?" And let Sting decide it, and that's it.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
I like that.
Hey Jim, we anybody got any other questions for Jim before he gets out of here?
Any other wrestling question?
You excited for Crown Jewel, Jim?
Am I excited for Crown Jewel? Yeah. LA Knight, yeah, I am. Absolutely, 100%. I'm going to be interested to see what this finish is because these two guys are over. LA Knight's huge with the crowd. I just don't know if he should be taking a pin. I think maybe.
He's not winning. We know that, right? Like he's not.
Right. I don't think he's winning. I don't think he's winning, but I don't think he should really take a pin. But then again, like some people have told me, well, a lot of guys have looked great in losses to Roman. Maybe they go the Kevin Owens route, where like somebody interferes and screws them, so he can continue to get like matches. Yeah. And that's how they do it. Yeah. And they weave it into a storyline, or it's like a smudge DQ kind of thing, where LA Knight has the win, and then like boom, somebody hits somebody or gets the visual pin, and something happens. But
something always told me, like storyline wise, it just feels like it's Cody's belt. Like Cody's the one to take it from him. That's just how.
Oh, it is gonna be. It's gonna be Cody's belt because The Rock's not working WrestleMania 40 like I expected him to do. Like, come on, like please. Oh yeah, he's not in the plans. Yeah, because The Rock was never going to be in the plans because he was never in the plans for WrestleMania 39. He's not in the plans for WrestleMania 38. He can't get insurance. Hollywood's not going to clear him. Like, and they don't need him. Like, if that was really the plan, it should have happened last year. Figure it out and make it happen in LA. It makes no sense now to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
They've teased Rock for so long in the main event of WrestleMania against Reigns that he's not. If he hasn't done it already, he ain't doing it.
He's making so much money in Hollywood, man.
I mean, wrestling's good enough right now. You really don't need him.
But the issue with The Rock is he's not in ring shape. Like he got hurt in his first, and go back to his last real match. He got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean,
he did.
He had a 5-minute squash match against Eric Rowan at a WrestleMania in Dallas. Like he did his moves and he was out. Like the guy can't go 15 minutes.
That's the reason why he's not coming back to the ring because of what happened in that match. That he got seriously hurt, so to speak. So he can't ruin his movie career.
Yeah, he said he tore his neck from the bone, I think. Or or something.
That's why I think that Cody's going to win the Royal Rumble and then he's going to win the title at WrestleMania next year. It's going to happen.
I like it. It's definitely going to happen.
Makes sense.
Alan wants to know real quick thoughts on Impact going back to TNA. I think it's great.
I love it. I love it
too.
Dude, I mean, I know towards the end there was a lot of stink about TNA. It was bad, like all this stuff with Dixie, Hogan, all that stuff. Then they went to Impact and let it marinate, be away for a while. Everybody, look, there were really, really good days of TNA. There was a reason why I watched TNA from 2004 to 2009 religiously more than I watched WWE. AJ, Samoa, all those, Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, the tag teams, America's Most Wanted, Team Canada, Robbie Roode, like all the list goes on. Stan Christian, Beer Money, Booker T was there, Kurt Angle was there. Like the matches, the pay-per-views were awesome. So nostalgia sells. We all know nostalgia sells. We all know everybody loves this, and that's good. Good for them. And then you had Will Ospreay there. He's wrestling a couple matches. You know, we'll see CM Punk show up. Who knows? Don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. He can go wherever. But it's good to have, the TNA name. Like, because Impact Wrestling, it's like, Impact Wrestling. It's the team. It's the company that never died. Like, because it was supposed to be dead like 4 times and it never died.
Yeah.
Dummy.
Hey, well, we appreciate you joining us every Monday.
Hold on, whoa. You got to get us Thursday night.
We need the Thursday night game. You're right.
Who's playing?
Tampa
Bay at Buffalo. I don't know what the spread is. I can
another shit.
I got it. That's the wrong thing.
Thank God I wasn't on last week for Thursday night's game.
Buffalo minus 8.5.
Buffalo can't beat anybody.
Wow.
Yo, give me the Bucks on the road.
Wow, nice. Nice.
Look, hey, wait a minute. The Giants played them hard, and then the Bills just lost. So I mean, look, they could be angry, I know, but they can't beat anybody right now.
What the hell's going on with the 49ers? 19-7. Jesus.
I have no idea that Brock Purdy's playing is awful. Completely like crap tonight.
Yo, cheap shot on last Thursday's game. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The
Sure.
The 49ers
we appreciate it
this year.
Thank you, Jim.
Hey, no problem. Hey, wait. Yo,
too early.
Wait, here. Hey, check this out. Yo, can the Astros actually win a home game? They're getting blown out again.
It's over. It's over. Rangers have punched their ticket to the World Series.
Yeah, it's like no road team, no home team won a game in that series.
Their pitching staff is much overrated.
Yeah, so overrated.
Terrible all year.
Overrated, big time.
That's over.
Hey, well, we appreciate you joining us, Jim, every Monday night, as always.
Thank you, Jim. Congrats, man, on the Hall of Fame stuff, bro.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We're getting ready to go to the Hall of Fame, so, hey.
I appreciate
we'll see you next Monday, Jim. Appreciate it,
I'm always here. Always a pleasure, boys, here. Monday Night Maniacs, always going hard. Don't forget whose game is it? It's my game. Yeah. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Love it.
That's how you exit the stage. Right,
I want to give out a quick fact, and then we'll get to the ad read here. I just saw it on the Twitter. This is how much money
on the Twitter.
On the Twitter.
You sound like Scott, man. What's up?
Did you watch the Star Wars?
480,991 is how much you would have if you started with $100 and rolled over on a CMC anytime touchdown in the last 16 games. He's had a touchdown in the last 16 games. It's money. Every week, the CMC touchdown. You have 480,991. And you know what, folks? Speaking, if you were to gamble, you'd want to gamble with us. That's right. Because when our community wins with us, whether you're betting on the CMC anytime touchdown, we want to ensure you've maximized your return on investment. And line shopping for the best odds matters, and that is why any profitable sports bettor needs to be using multiple sports books. Thankfully, there has never been a better time to get signed up, and we are here to connect you with the best promotions industry-wide using our link, signupexpert.com/let's talk. You can get access to all the sports books in our region, along with a review of each platform and unique features. Most importantly, this page automatically connects you to the top promotions at each book, allowing you to start line shopping with an enhanced bankroll. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sports book at signupexpert.com/let's talk. All right.
There's two
coming to
tonight. Before you get to Jonathan, there's two props tonight that were like money gold. McCaffrey touchdown, Kirk Cousins interception, and both have happened tonight. It's like
I can't believe they didn't score a touchdown there to make it 24-7.
San Francisco going to lose to Minnesota tonight. It's 19-7.
I would say still.
It was first and goal. Minnesota had it first and goal, bro.
Twice, not just once. Twice.
You got to score a touchdown there, man. Step on that throat.
As just mentioned, is the Rangers are about to punch their ticket to the World Series. The Diamondbacks punched ticket to Game 7 tomorrow night against the Phillies. And to help talk about it all, because he doesn't want to talk about how bad his Saints are, is none other than, I think is it Western Arkansas hitting coach Jonathan Grisham.
What's going on, man?
Where's the merch? Where's the merch?
Standing tall.
We need the merch.
I got some of my stuff on right now. I got some other stuff that I just put in the closet here. So I'm getting it, and we're getting it going here. The first day was good. I'm enjoying it. I'm home coaching baseball. That's how I felt today. It was great. Great to be back with in this part of the game.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations, bro.
Hey, before you guys go, Jonathan, how unbearable is Allen going to be tomorrow night?
How unbearable is Allen every night, bro?
Yeah,
the Rangers are going to be in the World Series. He's going to be unbearable.
Well, he's also a Cowboy fan, so you kind of times that.
McCaffrey just scored a touchdown. The 49ers are back in it, Scott. I told you, if the 49ers score here, they got a chance. They may not cover the spread tonight.
Yeah, well. No, I just need a money line. I don't care about the spread. Just win the game. That's all.
It's going to be interesting how Allen's going to be tomorrow. I will say that.
21-19, Scott. That's how they're going to win this game. Jonathan, how is Arkansas treating you so far?
It's not too bad. I got in late last night. I got in around 12:40, almost 1 o'clock last night. We coached my last weekend with my girls, and they decided, hey, we're gonna send you out late. So we made out a little bit of run, finished in the semifinals, and got done at that, and had to go pack up the truck and hit the road at around 8:30. So I got in almost at 1 o'clock last night, but. So far, so good. It's a small little town. So I went from Dallas-Fort Worth, big metroplex, and I'm in a small little rink-a-dink town here in Arkansas, which fitting that's Arkansas too. But it's not terrible though.
If you don't do well, they're going to be knocking on your door, asking some questions why the team ain't hitting, Jonathan.
What's that? What was that?
I said if you don't do well, people are going to be knocking at your door, asking why they're not hitting so well.
I'm sure I'll be ready for that. I'm working. We were just working with some of the boys here a little bit before I came over here and hopped on with y'all. I was talking with them. They're gonna, it's a learning curve right now for both myself and them, and learning how they do things. They're already they're finishing up their fall right now. They got one more week. We're gonna be hitting the road to Mississippi here in a couple of days. But it's just learning right now. It's learning what they do, how they do things, how the team and program does. fitting that I've done this with myself, building a program in youth side. It's a little different, but understanding that there's a learning curve that's necessary for me to learn the program and be acclimated what I know what they're doing at the same time as learning the athletes and getting to know them, is talking to them, kind of getting to know them right now. So how I'm approaching this first week, it's learning who they are first, kind of establish the relationship coach player, and then next week I start learning them about what they know and how they do things, and they'll see what I know and how I do things, and what we're going to be able to work to get things going and how we want to be. So it's a process, and that's the best part about it, and that's what's fun about this. So it's going to be learning, and that's what's exciting me right now. It's a new start, like everything's just so bright. It's that new car smell type of thing right now. When it gets I'm loving it already.
Right.
Has it been a crash course, Jonathan? I mean, are you watching? Do they giving you a lot of video on the kids and how they hit and where their strengths are, weakness, stuff like that? Have you been able to watch some video on them?
Well, it's a small JUCO, so not a lot of video we have on them. During the weeks leading up to me being here, I've been watching. They've been playing games. They've been traveling and playing games. So I've been watching. Games on Game Changer and seeing what the stats are and kind of learning and just seeing, okay, here's one kid. This is a kid. He does this. He does it. Okay. So I've been doing it on my own. I don't think they expected I was going to be doing it on my own until I got here. But it's just like I say, it's talking to the coaches, saying, hey, tell me a little bit about this. What did this group? They got me working with first base and outfielders on the fielding side. They got me working with hitters too. So figuring out, okay, what are we doing good? What do I have? What am I working with in the outfielders? And they go, you got speed. Perfect. They got arms. They got arms. Perfect. I can work with that. First base. I asked, what are the first basemen? Well, we got some good bats, but fielding wise, it's a revolving door right now. Okay, so we got to figure out that. So today was more outfield work for me, working with those guys. Tomorrow I'm going to be working more with the first baseman and trying to establish a relationship with them and working on mechanics and footwork, and probably teach them some things about how to be more loose and how to be more flexible to where you're not tight, where you can move. Your footwork is all tied to your hips. And if you can't move with your hips around the base, your footwork's going to be slow and heavy. So there's a lot of stuff that I've already kind of put together some plans and talking with the coaches on how I'm going to attack the work with those guys. But like I said, it's still learning them right now. I got to earn their trust at the end of the day as a coach. It's not just me show up and like, oh, hey, I'm here. You got to. No, I got to show them, hey, this is what I know. This is who I am. Now, hey, let's work together. And we're gonna see things be what they are, and we're gonna hit. As I told them at the end of practice, my goal is to help us reach the goals of what the team has set. And and their goal is national championship. And if that's the case, that's my goal. Let's go get us a ring.
Is it Division II? Division II, right? Division II.
Junior college. So it's a D1 division. So JUCO is the same way. JUCO is the same way as NCAA. Like NCAA has D1, D2, D3. National Junior College Collegiate Athletic has the same. It's D1, D2, D3 JUCOs, and it's a D1 JUCO.
Nice.
Gotcha. Nice.
You sound excited about it,
Jonathan.
Man. It's awesome, bro. I can hear it in your voice, bro.
Let's get into it.
Yeah,
let's get into some the NLC. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it's been refreshing. That's the best part about this, and there's been some things going on at home and stuff that I've been dealing with that I didn't go. I made a Facebook post about, and I've got some personal stuff dealing with family and everything, and this is just kind of a refresh right now that I feel in general about being back in baseball. I feel at home. That's how I feel. I feel. I love softball. I love coaching softball. I love the girls I coached. All the girls are still talking to me, and they all text me asking how practices were and whatnot. But softball was not what I was around. I was around baseball, so I'm home now, and that's the exciting part for me is being back home.
Awesome.
Let's get into the NLCS. The D-backs force Game 7 tonight. Are the Phillies, if they lose tomorrow night, Jonathan, they're going to look back at Games 3 and 4 and be like, damn, we missed our opportunity to go to the World Series because they had leads in those games and their bullpen blew it, mainly Craig Kimbrell?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the shocker right now. And I know Kimbrell's been up and down, throughout the postseason, but the bullpen itself has been really good. So if you're Thompson, at some point, you have to have. I know he's been the closer. Kimbrel's been your closer. He's been who you've relied upon throughout the season. I'm almost curious. At some point, does he have it in the back of his mind that if we have a lead in the 8th and 9th inning, do I go to somebody else? Do I keep Alvarado, longer in the bullpen, or do I go to Soto? Maybe. I mean, Gregory Soto has opportunities to close in the past as well, in past years. So you have arms that have experience or who can be utilized in a closing role. Do you have that in the back of your mind to at least say, can I trust Kimbrel still now? And right now, I think that has to be a legitimate question to be asked if you're Rob Thompson going into this deciding Game 7. And yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I would have said the same. That you've blown some opportunities that you could be in the World Series. You could pop champagne already, and you're just sitting and waiting for the Rangers and Astros series to end and get ready to prepare for Game 1. But here you are right now with an opportunity that you could look at as a collapse. I think that's a legitimate description of of this Phillies team. If they lose Game 7, they collapsed. When they were in my book, and I've said this to you guys. I said this on Tuesdays. The favorites to win the World Series. And if you lose to the Diamondbacks, a young and up-and-coming Diamondbacks team, in 7 games at home, it's a collapse. So there's got to be some thought process in Rob Thompson's mind about how he wants to manage the bullpen tomorrow, and even how long of a does he want to go with these arms to prepare to get to that point of the 8th and 9th inning.
Yeah, your Game 7 probables tomorrow for the Diamondbacks. It's is it Pafadit? And for the Phillies, it's Suarez. Fott. Brandon Fott. Brandon Fott? His name's Fott. His last name's fucking Fott.
Yeah, Fott. Yeah. Fott. Yeah, that's what his name is.
Fott. Like you fucking Fott?
Yeah. Listen out, Scott. You got to say it with the Boston accent.
Yeah,
so you got
Fott. Yeah, Fott.
Chowder.
He's fucking Fott. So he fucking fought. He blew ass. He fucking fought. I hope he don't fight tomorrow.
Exactly.
He fucking.
In all honesty,
if Fott fights tomorrow on the fucking mound, Phillies are gonna fucking win.
Not necessarily.
If Fott fucking fights on the fucking mound, the Phillies are gonna win.
Will you get it? Will you move on, please?
Put that on a t-shirt.
But
if Fott fucking.
But in all honesty, Jonathan's been on the D-backs since day one. I don't think he thought they were going to get this far. But he's
Jonathan mentioned that the winner of the Atlanta Philly series was going to win the World. You know what I'm saying? And Philly came out. I thought Philly looked like a team of destiny, and now they just it would go down as a choke, in my opinion, man.
Yeah,
now the Diamondbacks almost look like a team of destiny, right? This young, scrappy team.
Possibly. I did not expect. I'll say I did not expect the Diamondbacks to be one win away from a World Series. They're a year ahead right now of schedule, and if they're a year ahead of schedule and playing in a Game 7 in the NLCS, my God, what's going to happen when they get on schedule with this club? I mean, they're so young and they're so exciting, and they've been that way all year. The question for them was when we get through August and the Dodgers got that run in August and going into September, we were unsure. I'll speak for myself. I was unsure, did they run out of gas? Because again, they being a young team going into 162 games, you're gonna get to that point of hitting the wall. Did the young kids hit the wall for this team? And it almost seemed like they did, and they finally just pulled it out and be able to get to in the wild card in the postseason play. But the fact that they were here at this point with the team that I said, I said the winner of Braves Phillies was going to win the World Series, not make it to the World Series. They're going to win it. Right, if they can beat Philadelphia tomorrow, that should. I will agree that, and I'll say this point blank: the Philadelphia Phillies collapsed and they blew it. They blew their chance to be able to win the World Series as a favorite in 2023. And that's going to be in the back of your mind. And again, you can only play the revenge card. And that's what they're doing right now is they're seeking revenge for last year's loss in the World Series with the Astros. You can only play the revenge card so many times. 2024. So if they lose this year, 2024 has to be something different because you didn't collapse in 2022. You collapsed this year, and you had a lead. You had a lead going a 3-2 lead in the series going home, which is supposed to be you're supposed to be unbeatable at the bank, and with how that crowd is, and Arizona just went in and beat you in a elimination game. Now it's a winner take all game. Momentum, I'm going to side the momentum still with Philadelphia because we know how that crowd is going to be. But it shows Arizona's not afraid of that crowd, and they're not afraid of that environment. They can go and play. If Corbin Carroll continue, my goodness, that kid is exciting and fun to watch. Ketel Marte is absolutely showing his production and his development more so now too. I mean, these young kids
he was killing it tonight. He killed it tonight. Marte killed it tonight. There's a couple times I'm like, why the hell are they even pitching to this guy? The Phillies had got it kind of within striking distance, and then Marte hits another fucking double and another run scores. I'm like, why are you even pitching to him? He's killed you all game, and you just continue to pitch to him. It made no sense.
And that's what he's done. He's had moments up and down through it early in his career, and even the last couple of years. He shows the excitement, and he tailors off. We're seeing the full potential of Ketel Marte because he was supposed to be the young, exciting kid, of the Diamondbacks, almost like the face of the franchise until Corbin Carroll gets called up and he becomes the face of the franchise. Marte was that good. Diamondbacks had offers for Ketel Marte for the last couple of years to trade, and he said no. He's untouchable. Mm-hmm. He was the face of the franchise going in for the future with Corbin Carroll stay. So you have a great young foundation. If you're Arizona, that if you pull off the miracle of beating Philadelphia in Game 7 in Philadelphia, the future is so bright for Arizona at that point. If they can just continue to add some pieces here and there throughout the years, you can see Arizona being the team to beat in the NL West over the Dodgers for the next few years.
The thing about Philly is this. Aaron Nola's been inconsistent for the last 2 years. You're either going to get a one-hit shutout from the guy, or he's going to get buried in the first 2 or 3 innings. So you never know what you're going to get from him. And sure enough, you didn't get the good Nola today. You got the guy that is inconsistent. Now, it's an all-pitching staff on deck game for the Phillies tomorrow night, except for maybe Nola. Maybe they can get 1 inning out of them, but they needed to wrap it up today, and they didn't. And that's a problem.
If Nola's pitching well, though, they're just going to let him go.
He's untouchable.
Ron Thompson's just going to ride it and just let him go.
No doubt.
He has the capability. I mean, whether or not he was up and down or not, he has the capability of going 7 scoreless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put it past him. So that's going to be a good one. I'm definitely watching that one. I wasn't so invested in tonight's game, but
the issue for Philadelphia. The issue for Philadelphia is how Rob Thompson has managed the bullpen, and it's not been good in this series. He has overworked their arms, here, quite a bit, and it goes to the, going when he went to Arizona in Game 3, how they managed that. It was not a great plan, and now you're going into a Game 7 again. You've had to use arms more here and there. I know you didn't have to do too much with because of Wheeler pitching the other night, and he did well, but you had to use you had to use 4 arms again tonight with they saved Alvarado, they saved Huffman. Soto could probably go again tomorrow. Kierking, he threw 19 pitches. He could probably go 1 more again tomorrow too. So you have some arms, but those arms they've been taxed a little bit now. So that's a thing that you have to look. You're talking about Game 3 and Game 4, and even Game 5 in Game 6 yesterday. How the bullpen has been used is what's hurting this team because they're not fresh right now. They're absolutely getting overworked in this series, and kind of it's almost like the ghost of the 2022 World Series against Houston, where Thompson did the same thing. He overworked the arms early in the series. And by the time the later part of they couldn't get the outs they needed, and that goes again with Kimbrel still struggling right now. You have to almost keep an eye on how you want to use him and be able to match up arms around Kimbrel. But if you look at it and say if this game goes, it's going to be a bullpen game for Philadelphia. So how long can Ranger Suarez go? Does he go 4 innings? Could he get you 5? If he goes 5, Philadelphia has a chance to win. And if he's going 5, they're more likely going to win. But if he's only going 2 or 3, with how that bullpen has been used, It's going to be very tough for Philadelphia because this team Arizona's hitting, and they're doing the opposite of what the Braves did. And I'm gonna knock my Braves. They're putting the ball in play. If Arizona's putting the ball in play, and they're spraying around the field and getting doubles and being able to utilize hits to get in run scoring position and then go on with another single or double scoring runs that way. They're not really living by the long ball right now. They're getting the opportunities, but they're playing it as saying we're going to spray it around the field and get our chances scoring.
Jonathan, do we see Zach Wheeler tomorrow?
You have to. You have to.
I mean,
it should be all hands on deck, no?
And how much do we see of him?
Let's see. They pitched him in Game 5. That was
Game 5. So that was Sunday.
Or Saturday.
Saturday.
That was Saturday. So Game 5 was Saturday. Yeah, you could see Wheeler. You could at that point because it's 2 days. You could probably give him an inning if you need him to shut down, shut a rally down, or be able to just close out an inning. You could probably see Wheeler come in for at least one. It all depends on how Suarez does, though. Like I said, if he goes 5 innings, maybe you use Wheeler in an 8th inning situation with a matchup, and knowing that you have your righty up, you have your righty pitcher, and you don't really want to turn it to Kimbrel at that point, but you don't want to throw a lefty out there. I would put Wheeler in that situation in the 8th inning, absolutely, if that was the case. So I would think so. Like I said, like Scott said, it's all hands on. Johnny Allstaff needs to be ready, and so that would include Wheeler for at least 1 inning.
Is Zach Gallen first out of the chute tomorrow night for Arizona? You think if they get in trouble?
I think.
Or should he be?
He pitched yesterday. He pitched Game 6, correct?
Did he pitch Game 6?
That was Kelly.
That was Kelly.
So when
he pitched 5, I think. He pitched Game 5, I think.
So he pitched in Game 5. So I think it's the same thing. You almost have to use Gallen if you need him out there. But I think the difference is the bullpen for Arizona is actually doing pretty well. Doing pretty well compared to Philadelphia's bullpen. So if you need Gallen, I think Gallen could make himself available and say, "Hey, I can go 1 inning," in the same way that Wheeler would be used in Philadelphia. But the positioning of the bullpens are so different right now with Arizona compared to Philadelphia. I almost think that unless you just know Gallen can shut him down for 1 inning, that's when you make him available. But more likely, I think it's more likely to see Wheeler than it is Gallen in Game 7.
Jonathan, with the Astros losing tonight and the Rangers punching their ticket to the World Series, we still haven't had a back-to-back World Series winner since Johnny's Yankees in 99, 2000. Are we ever going to see this again? And why is it so tough to go back-to-back? Or dynasty's dead in baseball? I know the Astros seem to have a mini dynasty, but they didn't win back-to-back.
Yeah, I think we're kind of getting to that point because
we're talking 25 years
so many
almost.
Teams now in the postseason. You've expanded the postseason now, so you're adding more teams. Cool, yeah. And so everything has been over the last 25 to 30 years, whether it's MLB, NBA, or NFL, they've been seeking ways to create parity. And that's what Major League Baseball has done really well on over the years is you're getting teams you're getting teams like Arizona who was down in the dumps for a long time. They're back in the postseason play. Philadelphia for a long time was not really as competitive as they've been the last few years, other than the World Series year. The World Series years they were in the late 2000s. But for a good portion of time, they were not very competitive. We see Philadelphia being a team that's a strong wild card team. We see the Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians back and forth the last couple of years in the AL Central. Tampa Bay Rays, who seem to absolutely come out with certain ways on how to be competitive. They're making it work. So you have teams every year that you can sit there and go, really, they're in the postseason. That's the team to do it, and so they're creating the parity, and that's what. And when you have parity, it's so hard to repeat. It's so hard to have a dynasty because there's just too many teams you're competing with now. Whereas 25, 30 years ago, it was essentially 4 teams in each division. You had a wild card, but I mean, like you had 4 teams in each league, 4 or 5 teams in each league, compared to 6, 7 teams that you're dealing with now. And so it's expansion of the playoffs, expansion of the more teams are competitive. That makes it hard to repeat and hard for dynasties to be created. And again, you have a stronger, almost in a way, a stronger payroll caps that you have in Major League Baseball, and they don't want to use the word salary cap, but you're finding ways to limit the spending of those big teams, which that's what the Yankees did. Yankees just outspend teams in the 90s and early 2000s. They just outspent teams. Boston was doing the same thing. Dodgers this year, last decade, they were outspending teams. You almost can't do that now, even though you have teams that are still spending a crap ton of money, but you just can't have a team dominate the payroll like the Yankees did in the 90s and 2000s and be able to go and say, we have the best players, we're going to go and win a World Series, and they do. That era is done. That era is done now, and I think you're seeing that where these teams that are spending money, they're not winning. Padres didn't make the postseason. Yankees didn't make the postseason. Red Sox didn't make the postseason. Cardinals didn't make the postseason. Dodgers made the postseason, but and they've been that one team. But high payroll teams, they're kind of falling short right now. So that's another factor that's hindering repeat champions and dynasties in the making that are in Major League Baseball.
Well said. Yeah, get it. I don't think so either. Who do you like to win tomorrow? And then, which team do you like, the Rangers or that team tomorrow's winner to kind of take the World Series?
If you're asking me for a unbiased opinion of who's going to win, I do think the crowd is going to be that energy in the crowd of Philadelphia is going to be at an all-time high. And that Phillies team just absolutely rides that energy as much as possible. I think Philadelphia, if you ask my unbiased opinion, Philadelphia will win. If you want my biased opinion, where much that I hate Philadelphia and I want them to crash and burn as fast as possible and early in the game, then I want Arizona to win. But I do think Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia being the better team, and being at home and that crowd being what it's going to be. I think they're going to pull it off and end up winning the game and going to the World Series. And it goes to essentially what I predicted, that the Philadelphia Phillies, if they make it to the World Series, they will be the World Series champions. And I will hate myself, and I will hate Major League Baseball off season if that is the case. I will be the grumpy person every show with you guys and with Scott and Alan during the off season, where I have to hear the Philadelphia Phillies are the World Series champions. I will absolutely make myself sick hearing that for the entire winter until spring training starts.
Wow.
The only hatred matched by what the Phillies' hatred is any New York team that would win the World Series. Jonathan would hate that too. So
yes, absolutely. If it was the Yankees winning the World Series, that would be Armageddon for me. I would absolutely do it. I can't. I want the Yankees win. World Series. World Series less streak. Won't even make it to the World Series. I want it to last for. I don't want them in my entire life. I want the day I die is where the Yankees still don't make it to the World Series.
That 2009 World Series must have been rough for you then, huh?
Yes, it was.
That day.
No, it's Yankees in general. I hate. I know. It's just what it is. I mean, again, I don't know if I may have told the story with you guys, but there's a story about when I was younger, and I know kind of off topic on it, but it was a story when I was younger. It was the 99 World Series, Braves and Yankees. Mm-hmm. I was 9 years old. Went to Disney World with my family. Braves lose in the World Series. I tell my mom that I want to go home. My Disney trip was done. I didn't want the happiest place on earth was done for me because the Braves lost to the Yankees in the World Series. And I have a firm hatred ever since then.
They ruined your Disney vacation.
I can tell.
They ruined my Disney childhood vacation. Yes.
Yes.
Is Dusty
the evil Empire strikes again, man? It wasn't me, man. You got to blame that on George and Derek Jeter.
I'm rooting for the D-backs tomorrow. I'm rooting for the D-backs to win it all, just because that side of total left field that nobody would have had the Arizona Diamondbacks winning the Super Bowl or win the World Series the World Series this year.
And I wouldn't have even been paying attention to them if it wasn't for Jonathan mentioning them. To be quite honest.
I almost wish and I told this to Scott and Alan, last week. I almost wish I put money up. I was able to put money up for Arizona to at least make a run. I can only imagine what the odds were back in spring training for Arizona to be a World Series team.
I was about to say that's easily Googled, bro.
I
almost don't want to know because I'm going to be pissed off.
It had to be high because everybody was on the Braves, Phillies, Dodgers, and nobody was on the Diamondbacks.
Even the Padres.
No.
Yeah.
Even the Padres.
All of them.
Yeah, the Padres have been kind of, you know what I'm saying? They haven't been shit the last few years. They've been pretenders.
But
everybody was high on them.
Arizona was out of the blue when Jonathan was mentioning it. So again, I'm glad you did.
But the momentum for the Padres,
I paid attention to them, so I got to watch some good baseball because they were fun to watch.
The momentum for the Padres going into this season was off the charts. Everybody. 90% of the people were on the Padres this year to get in the playoffs and to get to the World Series because what they did in the offseason. And it didn't pan out, obviously. So,
nope.
Jonathan, I know you guys we'll get you out on here. What's your Thursday night pick? It is Bills Bucks. Bills minus 8.5.
Yeah, I don't appreciate Jim taking a shot at how bad the game was, at least in the first half of my Saints and Jags game, and then we had more offensive issues in that game still. So I don't appreciate Jim.
It's time. It's time to clean house in New Orleans. It's time. Coach Dennis Allen needs to go. Carmichael needs to go.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I 100% agree. I think it's time, the firing of Pete Carmichael should have already happened right now, and I don't understand. And, the offense looked better in the second half, but we've done that before. I don't understand why we still playing the same game over and over and over again. The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And here we are still doing the same thing right now on our offensive side of the ball. But and same with Dennis Allen. At this point, the team is not even his team. It's still Sean Payton's team, and we're still pretending he's a head coach. So I'm just about done with Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael and the coaching staff right now. But I'll get back to it. Bills and Bucks, you say is the Thursday night matchup. I think Buffalo's going to be pissed off for what happened in New England and basically being embarrassed at that, because we were talking. There's so much talk about Bill Belichick going to be, when is he going to be fired? Is he going to resign, or is he going to retire? And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, and I'm sure Scott was just as surprised as probably everybody else was that Bill Belichick gets a contract extension on top of it. Oh, and then by the way, in the process of it, they go and beat the Buffalo Bills. So maybe that was the plan. They were whatnot. I don't know. But I think Buffalo is going to be. Bill said we're going to
suck until I get an extension, and then they're like, "Here's your extension," and they go out and beat the fucking Bills. We don't suck anymore.
Well, maybe, or maybe he has more photos of Robert Kraft and massage parlors. I don't know.
Massage parlors, yeah, exactly.
Kicking it together, hanging out together. Yeah,
I bet the contract is to be the coach of the Patriots and not the GM of the Patriots, though. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the way it's going. I think it is.
Probably. But so what's the spread again for the game? What's the spread?
8.5, I think. 8.5. Let me double check.
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. Minus 8.5 for the Bills.
Oh God.
I'll take the points. I'll take the Bucks. I think the Bills will win, but I'm going to take the points for the Bucks. I think the Bills will win. I think it'll be a 4. I think they'll win by like 4. Bucks will make it a game at the end, but I just don't think they're going to have enough to do it. I think the Bills still win, but they won't win by 8. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they'll win by 4.
Yeah, your Saints got the Colts on Sunday. It's a 1-point favorite for the Colts at home, so it looks like a pick 'em there.
Yeah, I mean, You lose to the Colts without Anthony Richardson at quarterback. And I know Gardner Minshew is a decent quarterback, but again, that's what he is a decent quarterback. They have good weapons and Michael Pittman and Josh Downs as well. But this is the easy part of your schedule. And if you lose this game now after losing to Jacksonville and Houston, you basically just losing to the entire AFC South. I don't know what else needs to happen for changes to be made because this is too good of a team, too talented of a roster to lose out on a season that you were supposed to be a contender. If you, and listen, you have this stretch that you're in. So I don't know how many more times we have to beat our head against the wall to expect something to happen. And we're getting nothing. Saints fans, there's so much frustration from Saints fans. I'm seeing it and I'm hearing it from, guys that I'm friends with back home that they're saying the same thing. Like, I don't understand why this is going on. Where we have Keyshawn Johnson going on, on TV saying that, hey, my nephew might be interested in a trade going to the Dallas Cowboys. That, and oh my God, I don't want to hear. I don't want to even entice Allen to even hear that. But there's so many issues right now that has to start from the top of the coaching staff and potentially. Maybe a change at the general manager with Mickey Loomis. And I know, Mickey's, done a great job in New Orleans winning the Super Bowl in 2009, but here we are 2023 and we haven't, I know we had our moments here and there, but we're going backwards now. At what point does this franchise say this is unacceptable? We have to get back to go the direction we were going. We have to get back to being a contender, especially in a division that is so wide open. Still, there's no reason why we should be falling back. So, I never want my team to lose. I want my Saints to win, and I'm hoping they do. But if we lose this game, at some point the question has to be asked: is when this change is going to be made? Not what changes could be made, is when will they be made?
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
agreed.
Fair enough.
So that was you were taking Bucks in the points, right? Just like Jim.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we appreciate you joining us every Monday. Best of luck to you. Who you guys' first game this week?
So we're heading to Mississippi for it's our last fall game. So we're doing our fall schedule. So I joined up a little bit late, obviously, but we're heading out to Cleveland, Mississippi. It's gonna be a nice 5-hour drive on the bus. That's the other thing. I'm gonna be on a bus going into a baseball game. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. If you ask anybody, I'll say this: if you ask anybody, and I was actually talking to some of the kids, and they're sitting there like, "Oh my God, this bus ride's gonna suck." I'm like, guys, I didn't get to do this for a long time. Like, I've been away from this part of the game.
Jonathan's the only one that's going to be happy on the damn bus. He's singing songs and, hey, big ass smile on his face. All the kids are going to tell him to shut the hell up.
Like I said, I'm gonna be a kid in the candy store, just like, man, this is awesome. I love that part of it too. Like I say, I'm gonna get a chance to, like I said, I'm gonna talk to some of the kids. I'm gonna talk to them a little bit, get to know them more and whatnot. But that's the part I miss is the camaraderie on the bus. And be able to go to a school or go on a trip and be able to say, hey, we're gonna be on a baseball field for a handful of hours and whatnot. And then on Thursday, so that's on Thursday. We play on Thursday. And then we turn around, they're like, my God, we're going to be like in our uniform still. We're going to be on the bus driving for 5 hours. I'm like, perspective, guys. Because there's going to be a point, I told them, there's going to be a point where that's done. And you're sitting back and reflecting like I'm doing. Like I was one of the other hitting coach that was sitting with me. It's like, we're done doing this. Like, we don't get to play this game and be on the bus and be with your teammates and be with your friends and go play this game. There's going to be a time when that's done. You're going to sit back and say, man, I wish I didn't take it for granted. That's what you kind of do. If you look at it and say, oh, this sucks, this is going to be a long drive, like, man, that was fun for me. I loved it. I miss it. And so I'm excited to be able to do that again. So trying to teach them and talk to them a little bit and say, hey, this is, there's going to be a lot of confused kids on the bus with me. And they're like, why is Coach Jonathan's crazy right now? It's just happy as can be and whatnot. Hell yeah. How can we do this again? That was so much fun.
Nice.
Hey, well, we wish the best of luck to you, Jonathan. Go kick some ass out there on the baseball field,
buddy.
And bring home back the W, will you?
Go have fun, bro.
I appreciate it.
Right.
Take care, Jonathan.
Hey, give it up for baseball coach Jonathan Grishman, baby. We'll see you next Monday, Jonathan. Yeah. Best of luck to you. Go kick some ass.
He's been
Johnny, why don't you give us our ad read and we'll give our
Alrighty.
We'll give our
Thursday
night
has
picks
rapidly
after the ad
risen
read.
in popularity I want to connect you all with an opportunity to get started or to get ahead. Having multiple sportsbook accounts is the most simple way to maximize your profits, and there has never been a better time to sign up. When you visit our page, signupexpert.com/let's talk, you'll be connected to all the sportsbooks in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. All of these sportsbooks have valuable sign-up offers for new users, and when you register through our link, you will automatically receive the top offers at each one. When you use multiple sportsbooks, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful sports betting. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/let's talk.
Beautiful.
All right, picks, people.
All right, let's do our Thursday night pick. Sam, we'll start with you.
I think I'm going to go with Grisham and Biringer. Yeah. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Tampa for this one. I still hate Baker Mayfield, but I'm going to go Tampa for this one.
All right,
Scott.
I'm going to go with the more desperate team, and even though this sounds strange, the more desperate team is the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
At home on a Thursday night. They have to win Thursday night. If they don't, there's going to be a lot of questioning going on in that locker room. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills.
8.5 is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
They can win and still not cover.
You're going to lay the 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give the 8.5 points.
Yeah.
I just think that the Buffalo Bills will show up and will play a complete game on Thursday night, because the last time you saw them on the field, they only played one good quarter, and that was the fourth quarter on offense. So I'll take the Bills minus the 8.5.
Wow.
I was gonna take the Bills,
Johnny.
but I was leaning towards the Bills, but 8.5 is
Osborne just couldn't come down with that.
good. Thank God. He's racking up too many damn freaking points for my fantasy league tonight. I just 8.5 is a lot. The Bills are still shorthanded on the defensive side of the ball with some of those injuries. I know the Bucs just shit the bed against Atlanta at home, but I think Todd Bowles is going to try to figure out something to kind of at least slow down Josh Allen and company to where they're not going to win the game, but they can keep it close. So I'm going to take the Bucs and the points. You're gonna have Scott. You're gonna have Scott riding solo, or are you riding with him?
Ooh-wee.
I'm on. I just 8.5 is too damn much. And I started this episode by talking about the fraudulent Dolphins, and there may not be another fraudulent team more than the damn Buffalo Bills. So I'm gonna. If you're giving me 8.5 points, that's just too much. What makes us think in the last month that we've seen the Bills play that they can put up 8.5 to cover the 8.5. So give me the Bucs with the points at plus 8.5. I'm riding with Baker and the boys on Thursday with plus 8.5.
Did Tanner send anything in?
No,
we'll get his pick.
And we can get his.
We'll go ahead and get our final thoughts. Sam, we'll go back to you for our final thoughts before we get up out of here.
I think there is a saying amongst the Marines that to embrace the suck, right? Things suck in your life. You scared me. But
that's what you said something about the Marines.
I was about to say you said something about the Marines, bro.
All I heard was burp, like it cut off halfway through, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Hoorah! Hoorah, right? Your football team sucks. You come into difficulties and whatnot. There are a lot of things that suck in your life. That's just how it is. And you can either whine about it, or you can try to do something about it. Or you can
burn the bitch to the ground, Sam. Let's burn it to the fucking ground, everybody.
Burn it down. See, this is where Nick and I get along, because we both said before the season we wanted to burn it down, and we are going to burn it down, baby. We didn't start the fire,
burn
but
this
boy,
bitch to the ground.
Yeah, burn it down. But anyway, the whole point of that is embrace the suck, move on. Stop whining.
I'm not embracing the suck. I'm not embracing the suck.
You got to, but
No.
you will eventually.
Nope, I'm not embracing. We fucking suck, but I'm not going to be embracing. And be like, I'm proud that we fucking suck. No, we fucking suck.
I'm not. Embracing the suck is not you're proud of it. Embracing the suck is understanding it. It's understanding.
Oh, I understand we fucking suck. Yes, I understand that.
Yeah,
There's no denial here. I'm
not sitting here. I'm not sitting here happy that Kevin Byard's off my team. Nobody would be. So that's just all part of it.
I love how McCaffrey was questionable in this game. He's played all 44 snaps.
Right.
I know.
Right.
They made it sound like he was in dire straits. You know what I mean? Like snap count and all this stuff. And now look at him.
He went from Wednesday. He's probably not playing to all of a sudden on Saturday and Sunday he's in. He's definitely in.
I wonder if the doctor says like, "Hey man, you can go, but like if you get hit,
you sleep in one of these hyperbaric chambers." You know what I mean? Modern medicine these days. You know what I mean?
That's hard. That's hard to do at the running back position to say, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? You can play, just try not to get hit."
But if you notice, a lot of the stuff he's doing is
I hear what you're saying, but that's just
the 49ers just try to do their own push, and it fucking just did not work. You know, credit to Philadelphia, because that Philly tush push thing, the brotherly shove, whatever the fuck you want to call it, a lot of teams try to.
That was just a regular quarterback sneak. They just showed it from the top view.
Yeah,
it wasn't like Philadelphia does, where they actually line up two guys right behind him to just immediately push his ass.
But I'm just saying,
let me just tell you something. No, I'm ahead of you guys. But San Francisco's getting exposed tonight and last week too. They don't have a quarterback. Brock Purdy's not.
They just got the first down, Scott.
No,
but he's ahead of us. That's why he's saying. That's why he's saying, just wait.
What happens after the first down? He throws an interception.
Scott is just shitting on everybody. It's like everybody. He sounds like Tanner.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Brock Purdy is done. He's lost 2 games in his whole career. He's done.
Johnny, I wouldn't say that normally, but you go into Cleveland and play a backup quarterback, and you can't do anything on offense.
Right. Their defense hasn't looked great either. Especially this game.
McCaffrey has done everything for them, bro. McCaffrey has done all the scoring for them.
Minnesota team that went to Chicago last week and could not move the ball on the Bears and could not do anything.
Oh my God, Jesus, he did throw. Who the fuck was he throwing that to?
And you haven't been able to move the ball at all. You haven't been able to do anything on offense tonight. Christian McCaffrey's it. Other than that, that's it. Philadelphia's the best team in the NFC right now. Philadelphia, Detroit could be the NFC title game. I don't think San Francisco's going to the title game.
I don't know about Detroit. Philly. I mean, I'm
San Francisco ain't holding themselves in high regard right now.
No. Who the fuck was Brock Purdy throwing that to?
I have no fucking clue.
I told you the guy
unless he expected Jennings to go more of a post.
I don't know.
He just gave up on the route
too. He overshot him by 10 yards.
And he
overshot him by 10 yards.
Jennings kind of gave up on the route too.
Brock Purdy's a perfect example of a quarterback that needs to be ahead of in the game and not behind, because he can't come back and win the game for you. He can only.
Well, we'll see. I have a chance here.
That's what's happening tonight.
If they can hold him to not a field goal. Well, even if they hold him to a field goal.
I mean, if Minnesota gets a couple of first downs, that's it.
They just got one. Illegal contact.
They just got one on a penalty. Yep.
Yeah.
They just got one on a penalty.
You guys are ahead of me. You guys must be a play ahead of me.
Yeah, they're way ahead. Remember last night? That's why last night I was like,
we're one step ahead of you, Nick. Just always one step ahead, you know.
Hey,
by the way,
any final thoughts other than Brock Purdy sucks at quarterback?
The Rangers.
Yeah, thanks for the news feed, Alan. Thanks to the Twitter feed, Alan Paralis, for updating every time the Rangers do something, and when the Astros do something, there's nothing to be found. So thanks, Alan, for the Rangers update. We greatly appreciate it. We know they're going to
these refs are horrendous.
Yeah.
The first one play I watched the 49ers mug a receiver, and they didn't call pass interference. This time, Ward just puts his hands. I don't want
to hear complaining about.
Okay, never mind. That was egregious. He did shove him.
Bad everywhere.
He did shove him. That was egregious.
Yeah, this week in the NFL has been suck ass this week. It was terrible.
Oh yeah, ask the Colts. You know, Johnny, that's who has a fucking gripe is the Colts. I don't want to hear about your bullshit fucking fraudulent Dolphins. The Colts have a real gripe of the refs. So, Mr. Fraud, do you have any final thoughts?
You're upset at me for giving you all that positive thoughts about the Packers. You're saying, my bad.
Listen, the only
you gave me positive thoughts about the Packers, and then turned and resold it to me on the Dolphins. I bought twice on your horrible fucking advice.
The only two teams that are not frauds anymore are the Kansas City Chiefs, who were never frauds, and the New England Patriots, who smoked the Buffalo Bills yesterday. So
they're fucking frauds too. They're fucking frauds,
bro. This was a bad. I'm glad that a lot of us agreed on a lot of these games this week.
We suck ass at games.
I got 3 wins total, bro. 3
wins. Two
wins total because I'm not winning. I'm not winning this one.
No, 2 or 3 wins.
3 wins.
That's about as good as it's gotten for us, all of us, this week.
The Vikings offense.
I feel a lot better then because this was a bad week. Boy.
The Vikings offense is terrible. Throw it 3 yards past the line of scrimmage and hope
it's like they want anybody. It's like they want anybody that catches the ball to get instantly destroyed. Like that's how the Vikings offense is.
Well, no, that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk doesn't know how to protect his receivers, bro. He's just throwing it to them and hoping they catch the ball.
And they're just
Kurt lives by the expression, if he dies, he dies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, their offense is if they're not
as long as I get my guaranteed money, I don't care about these receivers.
Their offense is if they're not running the ball, throw it 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage and hope the receiver makes a play.
Jordan Addison's had himself a game. 49ers defense is getting banged up. Fred Warner. McDonald had just went out earlier too.
And Greenlaw too, bro.
Or Greenlaw,
Greenlaw came back in.
Did he come back in? Okay, don't tell me they lost both their linebackers. That would be a blow for San Francisco if they lose both linebackers, bro.
Fred Warner might be the best linebacker in the league.
No doubt.
Johnny, you got any final thoughts here other than the Dolphins aren't frauds?
No,
they're not frogs. Ribbit.
No, they're not, man. Another good show tonight. Had a lot of fun being able to get all of my frustration out earlier today on the Aqua and Orange Insight Show with my boy, me and Alex. On Let's Talk Sports every Monday, we talk all things Miami Dolphins. So we were able to get our gripes and our frustration out on that show there. We also touched on, I didn't get to mention it with you guys, the whole, Hard Rock in season or Hard Knocks in season shit that they're making the Dolphins do.
Oh, yeah.
I am not a big fan of that at all.
When's that start? When's that start?
Right after the Germany game.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not really big on that. It's a young team with a young coach, so I don't think they need any extra distraction. But it is what it is. Apparently, they kind of got forced to do it. I would not put it past our knucklehead owner to have insisted that it be his team to be on this shit. But no, man, a good night. Not a good day, a good weekend as far as making picks. But had a lot of fun with all the shows. Another fun night tonight talking to Jim. Shout out to Jim Biringer. That was a lot of fun. Jonathan Grishman, I'm sorry that my Yankees broke your 9-year-old heart. But you know what I'm saying? We still cool, bro. We still cool. And now, man, just having a lot of fun. Looking forward to me and Scott are still trying to work on an AFC East roundtable show. You know what I'm saying? We're working on putting it together. Hopefully we'll get it together before week 17, so that we can actually talk about it for more than a week or two. But I'm gonna reach out to Matt Larison. Shout out to Matt Larison, so that way at least we got 3 out of the 4 for now until we can find somebody that actually wants to talk about the Jets to join us. But we'll figure that out. But we'll be back on Thursday.
Reach out to Italy Jet.
I'll holler at him. He you know what I'm saying? Hopefully he ain't too big time for people. But I'll holler at Italy Jet. Shout out to Italy Jet, good dude. But yeah, I've reached out to a couple people, so I'm waiting to see who's gonna be able to get down and try to nail down a good day that'll work for all of us, Scott. So I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. But yeah, Thursday another fun episode since he didn't mention it himself. Thursday another episode of the Scott Combs Show with all your DFS action. These guys are so distracted by watching sports on a Monday night. We may want to have to move the Monday night show to. You got everybody just watching TV while the show's going on. I've been having a lot of fun. Looking forward to the next show. Thursday we'll have the rest of our picks, and hopefully I win more than 3 games next week.
Yeah. Quick. So I had it right on the UFC card. I didn't mention that yesterday. Show. Islam wins by pretty much a head kick, fucking Volk's head off, and ground and pound. I had that, and Hamzat wins a close fight against Kamaru Usman, which I had that. So had both those wins. So there's that. Quick note here. To shout out to Jeff the Jet Paston. I tweeted out this on December 21st, 2019. The Texas Rangers paid a sum of cash to the Cardinals for the rights for a 26-year-old outfielder with 17 major league at bats. His name was Adaldis Garcia. In the ALC, that little bit of money they spent paid off for the Rangers as Garcia hit 357. His line was 357, 400, 893 with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. I think the Rangers spent the right kind of money as they punched their ticket to their first World Series since they played the Cardinals in 2009 or 2008 or 2009. The
game's over?
It's a
11-2.
11-2.
I mean, what inning is it?
I don't know.
It's like the 8th inning.
Johnny, does it fucking matter?
Yes, because Houston, they're like fucking cockroaches, bro. So until the game is over, I'm not counting them out, bro. So
Carlos,
I'll wait the couple extra innings to start talking shit to our Just fans people about the Houston Astros. So looking forward to it, man.
We won't have any World Series winners. So
11-3, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs. So
49ers got to hold the Vikings here to a field goal or get a turnover. Kirk Cousins interceptions usually happen.
The Vikings just went for it on 4th down and got it. Addison got another.
The game's over, bro.
The game's over. Yeah. San Francisco probably ain't driving him down the field for a dying touchdown. He ain't doing it.
You never know.
So now there's only 2 teams in the NFL that are 6-1.
One loss.
And Eagles, it's the two Super Bowl teams from last season, Kansas City and Philly. There's a few 5-2s, obviously, but yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been
third down. I got third down right now. Is it third down, Scott? They're already past?
They're at the 2 minute. They're at the 2 minute warning. San Francisco has no timeouts, so they'll have a minute left. With no timeouts to have to drive probably 75 yards to score a touchdown.
The
way Purdy's played tonight, that ain't happening.
Oh, so there's still a minute left, man. You made it feel like the game was over, bro.
There'll be about a minute. There'll be about a minute left, but
now Houston's gonna score like 7-8 runs in a half inning.
Oh yeah. Hey,
I'm just
we'll
kidding.
Be back
I'm just kidding, Alan.
We're
about to see a bunch of comments from Alan and shit.
First hour Thursday. Let's do our NBA preview power ranking.
Hell yes. Yeah.
NBA top 10 power rankings. The first hour Thursday night.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, NBA starts tomorrow. We'll do our NBA preseason power rankings tomorrow night.
Lakers number 4.
Thursday night.
Sounds like a plan, bro. That sounds good.
First hour, then the second hour we'll make all the picks for
Charlotte Hornets number 5.
Week 8. What week 8? Jesus, we're already halfway to the NFL.
Week 8 already, bro.
Yeah. Oklahoma City number 9.
Tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you then.
10.
Johnny, hit that outro.
Peace out.
One life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands sing from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like black sheep, move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep, only scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me.